Yeah, I need a motion. Evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. At this point, I need a motion to move docket 4-43.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I need a motion to move, is this for us to ask? Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. A motion to move docket 4-44 and 4-45.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We have no Board of Education report right now, PSA or SEPTA in the audience. So we're gonna move straight on to the superintendent's report.
Good evening. Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to start off by,
We did not.
In advance of accepting, I'd like to thank Mr. COLE, Mr. Cole, for donation from the American Online Giving Foundation, which is going to help us supply some more instruments to our students. Thank you for that, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm thrilled to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome as we embark on our exciting 24-25 journey together. I think this year is going to be exceptional, and as we continue to delve into our captivating theme, WHE, possibilities, I believe, are boundless, and I cannot wait to witness the incredible ways we bring this theme to life throughout the school year. With we as our guiding light, we are inspired to explore, discover, and achieve wonders that lie ahead. Just to share some of the ideas, I'll be sharing them this week. Weekly update, wondering curiosity. Love to see students and staff who like to question, explore, and seek knowledge beyond the ordinary. We all know we believe in a holistic education, or the three-legged stool, as we like to call it. New staff with the social, emotional, the academic, but without the first two, we know to get the third one's pretty difficult. Ways of change. We teach our students the ideas of the dispositions or the habits of mind, which includes resilience, which includes managing impulsivity. And we need both students and staff to work through different things as the year progresses. Expressions of art and culture. Looking for a big year. Arts Fine Performing Culinary Art program. They'll be hosting NYSMA this year, so that's a very exciting event. Sales, she's away. She's not very happy right now because it's a very stressful undertaking as all of Nassau County comes here to be part of the NYSMA program, which is wonderful, but it turns out to be a great thing. And as well, I don't know if I'm going to share this too. The band, I believe, will be traveling to Washington, D.C. to march in the Memorial Day Parade this year in 2025. So Mr. Coleman is skipping through Lincoln Center and going to D.C. I don't know where he's dragging me to, but we will all be going there. But I'll be definitely with the students. So it's a very exciting time for that. But we like our students and staff to express themselves in different ways. As well as wellness and health. Hired some social workers, about to here right now in a few moments. But prioritizing both physical and mental health is an important thing. People will head nod. Thanks to the facilities department, really Peter Mayo, for their work in gymnasium on a shoestring budget. Has really transformed the gymnasium into something very special, as we'll see later this fall. Young men and women that have seen pictures of the new gymnasium with the new sound system that we found and reconfigured,
Yes.
as well as some new lighting. Very exciting thing, as well as some leadership and collaboration. As if you're aware of what we're really trying to do here, we're trying to create students who become autonomous learners, who take on student agency, really take ownership of their own learning. we also want that for our staff, right? Because continue to be invigorated, you have to continue to learn and develop. So we think these are all important ideas to develop as the year progresses. So as we embark on this journey, I want to invite school community members and the larger community to share their interpretations of we. Let us collaborate, innovate, and make this a powerful force that unites us all. Well, part of my opening day here, well, but I'll wait. All right, I'm going to hold off from announcing all of our new staff that we've hired literally up to about 5 o'clock today. We don't have too many left, some aides, TAs, need a nurse. Well, ideally 2, but we definitely need 1. We do have through the Stronger Connections grant, classroom aides for K1, some bus matrons, which I know everybody loves being on the bus, but get the children off to the right start. It's very beneficial. So we do have some positions there. Of anyone who's interested in those types of positions, please have them reach out to Central. I'm going to stop there. The only thing I wanted to add, we do look forward to seeing everyone at the community event next Wednesday, August 28th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the back here. Rain or shine. Well, I shouldn't say that because may or might not let us in the gymnasium. We might have to move it to another location to figure that part out. The north side. There's no middle
Side.
The north side. Anyway, it's going to be a beautiful day on Wednesday, August 28th at 1 p.m. We'll see everybody there. It's free. We don't have tons of food, but we do have ice cream. It's kosher, so we want the whole community to come. Games, activities, just everyone getting back together, and in the summer one way, getting them off on the right start in another. I have to now want to announce it later.
Just a couple minutes. We didn't hire someone.
I understand.
So at this time, we've reached the period for district residents and or employees of the district to address the board. This individual will be limited to 3 minutes of non-confidential agenda items with an overall maximum of 20 minutes, should that be needed. Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes, sir, just identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Michael Steinfeld. I applied for universal pre-K seats. I know that there was a number of seats that were provided to the community. I'm on the wait list for that.
At what school?
At Hank.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to know, are there any available seats or any seats that have not yet filled? Is there any hope of people getting off the wait list at this point?
At this point, right now, the only available seats are at the Chestnut Street program.
Okay.
So they are available if you want to register your child in the program at Chestnut Street, but there are not seats available at Hank at this time.
And there's no, are those filled seats or are those seats filled to Chestnut, or you're saying those are available but won't be filled when the school year starts?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying right now there are seats available in that program at Chestnut Street.
Okay. Is there a possibility of transferring seats to another school?
Those seats were awarded to the school program.
Okay.
Mr. Rossman?
Hi, I'm Rafi Rossman. I am resident of West Hempstead and the president of the Hank Board of Trustees. I first want to just thank the school board and the district and Dan, Dina, Ryan, and the whole team for pulling UPK together for all children in a remarkable, limited amount of time. So thank you for that and making it available to everybody. There was, following the allocation, as was alluded to, there was a large demand for seats in West Hempstead at Hank, and it led to a large wait list. We have been working closely with the district, and they've been wonderful in working with us. And we are hopeful for a more favorable allocation, so there's not as long as a wait list in West Hempstead in the future. But we are not looking for any reallocation of any seats in the public schools that they deem that are needed for them in their program differently than in the private schools. In the public schools, there are children that may come in the summertime, in the fall, and the winter. So there is a reasonable buffer of unneeded seats that they may need. And, we've spoken to our, some people on the wait list and let them know that this is, you know, it is what it is for this year, and we'll be patient and hope for more in the future. And, you know, we've reached out if there's anything that we can do to work with the district to advocate for more seats. We're going to make ourselves available.
And
Thank you for the kind words. And I, in draft form, I created a letter that we're all doing.
Could you use the microphone, please?
Barbara, you're back.
I'm back.
I can if I can figure out how to turn it
I'll
on.
just talk loud because you figured that. So thank you for the kind words, sir. And as you know, we discussed earlier, and we will be drafting a letter that if you all want to sign. If not, I will definitely be sending it to our local legislators and our state legislators to advocate for more seats. I think that's the best way to go about it because ultimately our goal, well, I have two goals. I don't think anyone even realizes this, but kindergarten's not even mandatory. State should make kindergarten mandatory. Let's start with that and have that make sense. But it relates to 4-year-olds. I know of other districts who don't utilize the funding that's allocated to them. So the money's just sitting there in the pool. Instead of, maybe there are some discussions or disagreements or however you want to word it, within our community, just send the money our way. Other community use their money down the road. We'll talk about it then. So I'll be pushing for that this fall, right before budget season starts. So if you want to be a part of that, you know the door's open for that. So thank you.
Do we have any other, Mrs. Zeller?
Thank you for that. Just had a couple of questions. I know we've talked about UPK in the past, and I just was curious. I know you did mention there are some seats. How many seats are available currently in the scope program?
How many seats in total
Are available, yeah, not filled
today?
today.
I don't know if we just got that.
Hold on, I'm doing math. 77 filled, 90, 13?
13 available. Okay, because I know we talked about in the past that the grants, I think it was agreed that the grant only pays for bus and seat. I think was said in the meeting. We only get reimbursed.
I don't think we need to beat that dead horse anymore. We're all in agreement.
So are we paying for, so we're paying for seats and hoping that 13 get built?
Right now, we're not paying anything.
Sorry.
Right now, today, we're not paying anything.
But are we, I see there's a contract in the documents today that we're going to sign. So how, if we're paying, at some point, we're gonna pay, right? So if we're gonna pay 5,400 times 13, we're gonna lose that money, right?
So do we want to get into this now or do we want to wait till the document?
I don't care.
No, I'm saying you want to talk about that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we started with 4 classes, because that's all we had, students enrolled for at the time. But, things have changed and we needed to open up the 5th classroom. Matter of fact, today we had a student enroll and we have a few more coming down the pike, hopefully later this week. Parents did inquire about the program. So, there was a need for it, so we're going to do it. If we didn't open up that 5th classroom, we would still be paying for an additional aide in the 4 other classrooms, which would equate to, over the course of the entire year, about $80,000. So you could do the math.
Yeah, I'm just curious. So I know if for 18, you don't need an aid. So would we do 18, 19? and
We do
20?
need an aide for it. That's not it.
For 18, so it's an aid plus.
And a teacher.
And anything over that up to
If you go
20.
19 or 20 or 20, I don't think
No,
you
they
do
don't.
21, 19 or 20, then you would need a teacher and 2 aides.
Yeah, the reason I asked, because I know the first year we lost 50 and then last year about 100.
We never lost anything. If you didn't utilize the money, in the first year, we only had 1 classroom. It started in January and was a pilot. 100% accurate.
And we didn't have a full, they didn't give us a full complement of seats. The issue is this, if we open up that 5th, if we open up the 5th classroom and make the classrooms reasonable size, allowing for continuing registration, which we're a public school and that's what we do, because as we said last year, we get continuing registration. And we're still getting registration up to 2 weeks before school starts, which again, to your point, is allowing anybody that's on that wait list can come to that program if they so choose. If there are seats available, obviously. But if we remained with a classroom of 18, now 19 or 20, they will only allow you to put up to 20 in a classroom, and we're paying the same amount of money just about, to have 20 kids in a classroom instead of having 16 kids in a classroom with room available to the additional children. Because when we have to pay for an aide for each classroom, times 4, times 10 months out of the year, it comes out to about the same amount of money.
And then we're not gonna get back, let's say we don't fill them 13 times 50, 400, we're not gonna get back, but it's gonna be spent on that classroom.
But we're gonna spend it anyway on the other classrooms. Why wouldn't we leave the room available for students to have those seats? And they are available to any community member as long as the seats are available.
Yeah, I know, I just don't wanna leave $70,000 of federal money. for people too.
Okay, well, we're not, let's be clear. This is the one thing that I want to say because we continually state that and it goes on and on and on. The district is not choosing to lose funding. If somebody doesn't choose to take that seat, the community chooses not to take that seat. They're available. There are 40-something people on the wait list at Hank, and I do understand that they might want to go to Hank because that's where their friends are going or that's where their other kids are. There are people, I'm sure, on a wait list at another pre-K somewhere that does not have UPK, but they do have the ability to utilize these seats should they want to. We're going to pay that funding regardless, whether we have 4 classrooms or 5 classrooms.
Maybe we want to start a community.
Wait, Christine, will we at the 20 or?
Well, no, not the 20.
Okay,
correct?
so Barbara, you had a question?
Yeah, Barbara Half resident. Is there a class size limit in the universal pre-K program?
They won't go above 20.
Up to 20? And then what's the ratio of children to teachers' aid?
I think at 20, because it reverts back to a teacher and 2 aides.
2 aides and 1 teacher. And is there a curriculum for this?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yes. And Miss Riley,
Trust
Riley,
me, I taught.
I know, we're back in the day, but it's a lot, it's not, this is what we try to explain to everybody, like $800 or $400, whatever the number is. It's not enough to really run any kind of program, and I want to compliment people's efforts, and now we're supporting 3 community-based organizations, right?
Now it's loud.
We've been supporting 3 community programs now, thanks to Dr. Minicozy and Ms. Riley. They've been working very closely with them, and I really want to single out in this case Hank and Ms. Rubenstein, because she's been working diligently to ensure that the kids have a robust program. And, listen, we understand trying to balance the religious aspect with the public school aspect is not easy. And, we've been working with them and trying to figure out something, and she's done a great job. But at the end of the day, you have to follow prescribed curriculum, which with that, you know, as you know, being a retired teacher with exacting standards.
To the state?
Yeah.
I am a believer of you grow by learning and playing, not by pieces of paper. And so I'm just curious.
We're not a big fan of playing with paper, and if you see our pre-K classrooms, you know what they do. We do foundations work? Yes. Do we allow to do interactive reading? Sure. They play a lot? Absolutely. Do they go outside every day when it's weather permitting? Absolutely. And our whole philosophy is really tools of the mind. I don't know if you're familiar with the research behind tools of the mind, but it's really theme-based play instruction. But with that being said, there's also a piece that you have to follow. You're going to take state funding with those expectations. It's like when we write these grants that we've been successfully awarded, right? Everyone thinks, oh, it's great, just buy this. No, you can't just buy that. You have to use this for this particular, program. So we work through that, and listen, I think the easiest thing, again, people can continue to ask the same questions over and over again, and the answers will be the same. But I think the best thing we could do as communities for everyone, and maybe we start a community letter besides the letter that we're going to write, and advocate for more seating. I think that'd probably be the best thing to do. I'm not looking to, Barbara, you and I have had this conversation, and I'll stop. And I'm going to relate it to 8th grade. You know, 8th graders who choose to go to private school and for high school, that's their business. And if they're going for religious reasons, you never see me. I don't get involved. That's a personal issue, a personal choice, a family choice, and something they've discussed. If you're going for another reason, well, then I'll advocate for that because I'll put our program up against that. So those are two different issues. But just to wrap it up, we do have VPK seats available here at Scope. If anyone is interested, they're going fast.
What comes from the?
So that,
Mrs. Zeller?
Thank you. Aaron Zeller, resident. So last year 55 weren't used, and then this year 13 aren't used. When we try to advocate to get more seats, when we go to government, we say, can we have more seats? Aren't they gonna say we didn't use 55 last year and we used 13 this year? And say, why should we need more seats?
I don't know what another human being is going to say, so I can't answer that question. But thank you for asking. I'm still going to write the letter because if we have people who choose not to come to Scope for whatever their reasons are, then I have to advocate in a different way, right? That's my job. I mean, that's what we're talking about. You're trying to make a statement that what they wouldn't give us more? Yes, they would. Yes, they would. All I have to do is present the case. Why are they not coming to Scope? Why are they not coming to Scope?
Are you asking me? Or-
I'm asking you.
I don't maybe ask them.
Okay, so you don't have the answer either. Okay, I will ask them, and that's gonna be part of the letter. See, that's the point. So if we all got on the same page and worked together, maybe we get it done even quicker.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did foil the information to see why.
You did, I know.
I'm waiting on the bills.
Yeah, you're gonna get it
the other-
tomorrow.
The other piece of that is that what I don't think that a lot of people understand, and I'm not gonna beat this. The parties that are going to whatever preschool it is, whether it was Hank or Partura or Little People or whatever, wherever the West Hempstead children go to UPK, wherever that program would be. This year it happens to be at Scope, Hank, and Partura. They all have to sit through the same program. It's the exact same program. So the program that's at Hank and the program that's being served this year at Partura is the exact same program that's being served at Scope. It has, well, it's supposed to be.
It needs to be.
It needs to be based on the RFP and the funding that came from the state. There is no religious instruction during or during that program. What happens before and after that program, I can't speak to. But so people have to understand that if they choose to send their children to the Scope program, it's the same program. Or if they choose to send their children to Hank, it's the same program. They have to follow the same curriculum. I do think that some people might not be aware of that. So it might discourage people from sending them to the public school program. I just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that.
Just one, Barbara, one last piece. There also is assessment pieces to it that we have to submit.
they take tests?
What? No,
No.
not like that. Assessment, like where are they right now?
Like a dial, right?
Like a dial.
Trust me, that I studied early childhood.
Well, the dial's fine. There's nothing wrong
They
with
cut
that.
scissors in the dial, don't they?
Dial, they write their name, they jump on 1 foot, they catch a ball, they build blocks. It's a stringent.
Any Piaget in that program?
Well, if we had our way, there'd be a lot more. It'd be a little ameliorated, you know. Yeah.
So if we have no other questions from the audience, we're gonna move forward to the next portion. There is another portion at the end of the meeting where you can also ask questions. At this point, I need a motion to move docket 4-46 through 4-44-51. So move.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. You may now leave. Okay.
All right, we're going to start with the people who are here in the audience live. So, Alexandra Genovese. Stand for a moment. Yeah, no. She's being recommended to fill the elementary teaching position at Cornwall Avenue, that was recently left vacant. Most recently, Ms. Genovese, did a leave replacement as the Stella teacher, library, at Chestnut Street. And Cornwall Avenue as well, right? Since February of 24. She earned a bachelor's degree in early childhood education and journalism from Keene State College and a master's degree in literacy from Queens College. She's been recommended for this position by Ms. Anita, Ms. Riley, me. I have to say, every time I passed her classroom and Miss Riley would confirm the same thing. The children were so engaged, and here's someone who came in the middle of the year. I don't think she wasted too much time trying to establish expectations or setting rules or procedures. She just went to teaching. Her lessons were dynamic and her lessons were on point. There was always a smile and she knew the kids' names. And it was really exciting to watch. So this is a pretty easy decision for all of us. We're looking forward to the wonderful things she'll do with 20 some odd students every day. You are welcome. Next, we have Angelique Rodriguez Kaminsky. I don't know why she's embarrassed. She's actually a RAM, right? Or partially, right?
Yeah.
Great. So Angelique's being recommended to fill a fourth grade teaching position at George Washington. So she's joining the ranks. Some new people. New principal who's with us here this evening. Ms. Rodriguez Kaminsky was most recently a sixth grade teacher at St. Agnes Cathedral School in Rockville Center. She earned her bachelor's degree in communication sciences from Adelphi, Panthers, as well as her master's degree in childhood education from Adelphi, Panthers again. She's being recommended for this position by Ms. Milner, Ms. Riley, and me. And I think one of the more impressive things about Angelique, well, the most impressive thing I'm going to go with is the fact that she took it upon herself to learn a lot more about literacy. Our area of expertise at St. Agnes was mathematics and social studies, right? Social studies.
Math and health.
Math and health, sorry, I apologize. Mathematics and health. And she took it upon herself and she's currently, right, still currently enrolled. You just finished? Did you graduate? Yes. Wilson Reading Program. And if you know anything about the Wilson Reading Program, it's pretty intensive, but it gives you great skills and knowledge. And so because she's a learner and she's self-motivated, she wanted to take this opportunity to expand her tool belt of strategies, as we like to say. And we're looking forward to her taking those skills and bringing to the fourth grade class. Congratulations. And literally just a few minutes ago, Ms. Ronak Rawal, who's sitting next to Ms. Milner. She's being recommended to fill the position of social worker. For the past 10 years, she's worked at Northwell Health. I won't tell my sister who works with NYU Langone. We'll get into that. As a licensed mental health counselor and licensed master social worker. She's earned her bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Albany and a master's of science degree in mental health counseling from Manhattan College. She also holds a master's of arts degree in social work from the University of Buffalo. She's been recommended for the position by Ms. Karras, Ms. Milner, Ms. Riley. I think we were both very impressed by her passion for children, for her understanding of student mind and how it works, and her willingness to go back and get another degree so she could chase down what we believe is her passion for the students. So I love her skill set, and I think she's going to bring a lot to the table. And she's going to help us do some of our work around chronic absenteeism this year. We're very excited about that. So congratulations and welcome. And the virtual audience, we have Miss Jennifer DiGregorio. She's been recommended to fill the school nursing position at the secondary school left vacant by Miss Reva Miller, who we all miss. Ms. DiGregorio has been recommended for this position by Ms. Karras and Mr. Phillips. I had the opportunity to speak to her several times on the phone. She's a career changer like myself, and she was debating it and working those tough shifts, doing really important work as a nurse. But now she gets to be a school nurse, changed gears a little bit. But she's not dealing with heart surgeries, but she's going to be doing some hugs and some kisses and putting on some Band-Aids, I'm sure, at some point. So we're looking forward to the work she does. And just a little side note, yes, she's sort of related to Katie in some way, shape, or form. So, Jennifer, welcome aboard and congratulations. I don't know if she's in the audience, but I know she's a West Hempstead person. She is a Ram, Shereen Shuk, being recommended to fill the .6 school council position at the secondary school. She recently just finished a leave here at the secondary school, and we are very excited to have her back. And we look forward to the work she's going to be doing around chronic absenteeism and supporting all of our students. Welcome back, and glad to have you, even though you are a neighbor. Congratulations. I apologize. It's not because you live local. And by the Boston Public. Ms. Amanda Johnson is filling the .6 OT position at the secondary school. And we welcome her. Ms. Alexandra Archer, school psychologist, leave replacement at George Washington. We have a whole new support team there. Ms. Veronica, I'm not going to do the justice as Ms. Riley would do. Loretta Gonzalez? No? How'd I do? No. Fix my pronunciation.
Wait, that.
So Ms. Gonzalez being recommended to fill the Spanish teaching position at the secondary school. She was most recently a Spanish teacher leave replacement at Long Beach High School in September of 23. Prior to that, she taught Spanish at Floral Park. She earned a Master's of Arts in Teaching and Adolescent Education Spanish from SUNY Westbury. And she's being recommended for this position by Ms. Jaggerson, Mr. Puma, Ms. Riley, and me. Congratulations, Veronica, and welcome aboard. It's Lisa Kano, being recommended to fill the art teaching position at George Washington and Chestnut Street, left by the retirement of Ms. Kathleen Courtney, who we will miss. Kano has been a tenured special art teacher at the public school 4K in Brooklyn since September of 2011. She's earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Savannah College of Art and Design and her Master's of Science and Education, Special Education from Toro College. She's being recommended by Ms. Sales, Ms. Milner, Ms. Riley, and me. Ms. Stephanie Dietrich is being recommended to fill the business teaching position at the secondary school. She was most recently a permanent substitute at Freeport High School. Prior to that, she had various other roles in that district. Prior to that, she was a tax accountant in Woodbury. She's earned her Bachelor of Science in Accounting from SUNY Westbury and a Master's of Accountancy with concentration in taxation from LIU. She earned her Master's in Business Education from SUNY Oswego. She's being recommended for the position by Mr. Pumo, Ms. Riley. Ms. Elizabeth Fitzpatrick being recommended to fill the full-time speech teaching position at Hank in the secondary school. Left vacant by Ms. Lisa Chichia, who moved on to Chestnut Street due to the retirement of Ms. Wendy Cravat, who we will miss this year. Ms. Fitzpatrick was most recently appointed speech teacher at the secondary school, and she's being recommended by Ms. Karras, Ms. Riley. That covers everything. I'm just double checking. Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so congratulations to everybody who was appointed this evening, whether you're in the virtual audience or in this audience. And even if you're not here, so let's just give them a moment. Board. And I will just say that if you would like to take your leave, you're more than welcome to do so. If we have a few more minutes of this meeting, you're also welcome to stay till the end. Going, so I'm just gonna keep going.
I'll just get out of here quick.
We need a motion to move, docket 4-52.
Second.
Any questions?
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like the way the contracts for the new universal pre-K locations were developed in terms of the compensation. We're sort of locking in the compensation to mirror what we receive from the government in the way of funding. However, with the scope contract, that's the way it worked in year one, but we've allowed that fee on a seat per seat basis to escalate in the years since. Question is, if they provide essentially the same service, how do we justify paying Scope more than the other locations? Well, we're up to $5,800 on Scope, right? On a per seat basis.
Well, we don't know what they're paying to do that. We're only getting from the state what the state is
5,400.
giving us. That's all they're getting as well.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they're not paying more to educate those students. They're
But
definitely,
unrelated to the UPK program. They're getting paid
No.
for other things.
their UPK program
Yes.
has to be paid for out of the money from the state. And then they have to subsidize the rest, similar to us.
Right.
When we go to Scope. We're subsidizing it through Scope because it's cheaper than us paying our own teachers to do it. Because we'd have to pay, I mean, I'm being honest, we'd have to pay on the teacher step and scale. We can't afford to do that. We're in a much better position by paying Scope the $5,800 a student than we would be if somebody like Hank's school or whoever, whatever, little pre-K or whoever is paying their teachers. They're also not paying on step and scale. I don't know how they pay their teachers, but they're also subsidizing their program with additional monies. They're certainly not, I mean, I shouldn't speak for you, but they're certainly not paying $5,400 a kid either. Do you know what I'm saying? They're only
Right.
getting from us the $5,400. They might be paying $6,200 to educate each kid. We don't know that.
So we're each subsidizing our own programs.
Everybody
Yeah,
is,
would they?
yes, every program, every building that has a UPK in it is subsidizing that additional cost. It's just based on what they pay their teachers, what Scope pays their teachers, what Yeshiva Har Torah is paying their teachers.
That's an answer. Sure.
Mr. Lazar, you had a question?
Right, first, I guess I'm gonna ask my question on what Bert just asked, but in a little different way. From for starters, we have a program that we just said a few minutes ago is virtually or pretty close to identical with other providers. We have 40 students on a waiting list that is interested in the district not paying extra money for, but yet we're not comfortable as a board to vote and move any of those seats from a program that's not full right now to a program where there's a big waiting list, which is cheaper. And not only that, this other program is, as you just said, it's cheaper for the district. That program also, as I'm looking at the contract over here, the SCOPE program, I believe from the contract, unless I'm reading it wrong, doesn't have to provide food. They get the building from us for free. They don't have to provide security because we provide all that stuff. Why are we looking to spend so much more money on a virtually similar program, especially when it hasn't filled up by the end of the year, by the end of the summer? And we have 40 people on a waiting list like this gentleman over here. And we're saying, well, if you want to come to our more expensive program, as opposed to saying, you know what, in the RFP that Hank put out there, I don't know if they're still interested in the seats, but in the RFP, they said that they can handle 40 students. And we have 18 available possibilities over there
Well, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
people on it. We as a board have the right to reallocate seats that have not been filled yet, but why do we choose not to?
So what is your question? Asking some motion.
I would love to make a motion to reallocate seats.
We can have students come in September, October, November, December. We have this.
Joe,
We're not- wait,
I agree with you,
guys,
Joe.
We're not,
Bro, Joe, we could have students come in any of those months, but we have 40 students right now wanting to come in to a program that is through the district, one of our partners, and we are telling them, sorry, you're not good enough. I'm sorry to say, but this is what it sounds like.
all right.
But one second.
Wait.
That's
Stop,
absurd.
stop. I'm not,
Absurd.
we're not gonna,
Okay.
and being insulted, that's, we've talked about this.
Okay.
That, first of all, that's inappropriate. That's an inappropriate statement, and you know that not anybody at this table would make that statement. So for you to sit here and say it, you heard 7 other people get upset by that statement. It's not okay. That's like saying, oh, we didn't give it to somebody else who came to us after the RFP. We have 4 seats left, and somebody came after the RFP and didn't file the RFP. But they have kids that want to go there, so we should give it to them, but you're not good enough. Nobody at this table has ever said that Hank's not good enough. nor have they ever said that Yeshiva Hartfara is not good enough
I wasn't talking about the
at the
schools.
public
I was
setting.
talking about the students.
No, no, no.
Seemed to.
That's not okay.
Don't try playing games
That's
now.
not okay either, because you make similar statements when it comes to the students in West Hempstead. So we're not gonna do that, because nobody calls you out on saying something like that about the students that belong here, that come to the public school. So for you to make those statements about anything that anybody at this table has ever said is not okay. So rephrase your question and we will speak to it.
Or we can move, because he doesn't.
Again, I would like to make a motion that as the board, which we have the right to reallocate seats that are not being used right now, that we reallocate seats for people on a current waiting list for them to potentially go to the school that they chose, because we believe that all students should have that option, especially since the seats are available right now. The grant money is available.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. And I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
At this current time, with our current enrollment and the 3 or 4 that we know are coming,
Well, not 18, 13.
no, I know, but I think he's saying that he asked for 18, that he didn't get.
They have room.
And asked for 18 more seats that they didn't get. Because all of those people, let's be clear, that are on the Hank waiting list are still going to Hank pre-K. They're just going to the different program. They're going to Hank.
Okay.
So that's number one. I
So
get
they
it.
do
It's not
have-
free. Wait, I get it.
I wanted to make sure.
Yes.
So they do have seats in preschool.
They're going to preschool.
Oh,
They're just
that's not
going
how
to-
we made it out.
Not going.
Grant money
Wait, wait, wait.
seats is
They're
what I
not
said.
with-
I was misunderstanding.
No.
They're just not going, can I finish? Because I'm not gonna, I will call this meeting right now. So. At this time, the children that are on that wait list, because I've had conversations, rest assured, Mr. Rossman and I have a very good relationship. We've spoken on the phone quite a few times. Rabbi Hazan has spoken to Mr. Reeman quite a few times. As a matter of fact, as late as last week, they had a meeting. As late as earlier this week, we've spoken. So this is not a conversation that has not been had. This is not a conversation, but we've never said in any way, shape, or form that the students here or anywhere else are not worth it or not good enough. That's number one. Number two, we just had the conversation. Mrs. Ellig asked the question. We're talking about the fact that no matter what we do, right? We're paying $80,000 or 80 plus 81 something. Because we have to have that fifth classroom open. We're opening those seats, those scope seats, no matter what, to the public school students, because we have to have the classroom there. We're paying that money regardless. So if you want to pay that money regardless, and then we're going to ask the state to give the money to Hank, so we're not going to get any of it back, more money anyway, right? You're saying we're losing money. We're not losing money, but we're losing money that can be utilized somewhere else. But now when the students come here or additional students come here, then we're laying out that money and we're not getting the grant money. So I'm just trying to understand your question exactly. And if you could rephrase it in a less, yes, offensive tone, I would appreciate it.
Okay. I'll go back to my question in a minute I want to discuss the 2 contracts for Stoke that I had seen over this weekend. The first contract, which might have been put in the system wrong, might have been signed by Stoke wrong. That contract stated that was dated on and signed by Stoke on August 9th, I believe. In that contract, it does not give, and I actually, when I first saw this, I said, wow, it's a great job that the district did, that we got Stoke to understand that there are other providers who need to actually give or spend more money and provide the services at a cheaper price, that we somehow got Stoke to agree to this lower price. Why did I think that? Because the price increase that we had last year, the form that was there, was no longer there. And when I read Appendix A, which goes through pricing and goes through information on it, it shows, for starters, New York State UPK regulation of 18 children, 1 teacher assistant, and then if you need to go up to 20 students, it requires hiring a classroom aide, which is not another teacher assistant, just a classroom aide. and that goes up to 20 students. In the same page where it talks about the students, it talks about a price of $540 per month per student, and does not say that we have to guarantee any classroom amounts and stuff like that. Looking at this contract, I was like, wow, this is great. First, I said, okay, where's that other form? I was told doesn't have to be in there. I looked at this, and this was very great, and I really liked it. Then today, a few hours before the meeting, a new version of the contract was sent out. That version of the contract, I need to find, because it would be in my emails. Anyways, it had added and changed it to $5,800 per student. It also said that we're going to be signing, that we're going to be paying for 5 classrooms, whether they're full or not. Which last year I had asked the question when we had this, and I was told, I guess it was a mistake, that there was other grant money to cover it, and the school would not have to lay out any money. But thinking about this whole thing, last year, we had seats that were empty, so we paid scope money, which came out of the general fund anyways, for those seats, and then we had grant money that we didn't end up using because we didn't have people to fill the seats. So looking at these contracts and looking at that information, I think we should try to tell Scope we're going to go with the original contract that came in over the weekend, that was signed by them on August 9th. And with that, it says that we can have the students by student and not by classroom. And in addition to that, because we are concerned about if we have to spend certain money even if we do have to, if there are empty grant money seats that are not being used, and we're willing to pay anyways, money out of the general fund, if we really want to say, let's pay some money out of the general fund for students to have seats. But if students have signed up by their due date of June 30th for the SCOPE program, which was past the date of June 26th, which was required by the Hank and Hartower program, and there are people on a waiting list, that we should say that those people, sorry if you don't want to come to the SCOPE program, I think that we should look into making that available. So what I'm saying is, we don't have to, according to the original contract, pay SCOPE all that extra money from the general.
So I'm going to stop you for 1 second, and I apologize for interrupting. Right, the original, what you're looking at is the original contract. So that was when we were paying $5,400 a student. Since last year, we've been paying $5,800 a student. This today is just an extension of last year's contract, which originally would have been 4 classrooms, until Dan sent that weekly update the other day advising we needed to open a 5th classroom because we have too many students, right? So we're opening the 5th classroom to allow for public education students to come to school. There is no deadline of June 30th to apply for public education. It doesn't work that way. If the private schools utilize that as a deadline because they need to know who's coming, I understand that. I can't speak to that. But public school, we take people in right up to Ved's Day and up to May. We've had this conversation. As far as the extension goes, but is there something else? So we can't use a June 30th date. If you're not signed up by June 30th, you can't come.
So for starters, there was a date on our website, the West Hempstead Chestnut Street website for pre-K, which had a timeline which said that all the SCOPE students had to apply by June 30th. Now, obviously, that's only if you get 99 students to apply, you would end up with a lot. For the registration, that's
not the shit. You're
That
thinking
doesn't
of two
cut them
different
off.
things.
It's
though.
not like bus.
No one's trying to give you a hard time, but you're not understanding what we're saying. Two different things.
I understand what we're saying. We have, as you said, Dan, as you said at a meeting or 2 meetings ago, we have now 3 partners. Right? SCOPE, Hank, and Hartower are 3 partners of ours. We have SCOPE we offer our building to, but the program is actually a SCOPE program in our building. It is not different. So what I'm saying is, if people have registered and so many people are on a waiting list, to say that the empty waiting list of where there's more seats available that people could then apply if they want to apply in May and June, they could still apply for it, I think is unfair to other students in the community. This gentleman is sitting up here. He came to this meeting specifically saying, I applied. I'm on a waiting list. You have 13 seats available. Can't my child or other people on the waiting list that are before my child have a seat in a program that they prefer of the 3 district programs that we have? Going back to the The contract on here that was signed was an extension of the original contract. And it did not have an addendum in it of any price change from the original contract, which would lead me to believe, and the lawyer, Chris, could tell differently, would lead me to believe that a contract on August 9th was signed by Scope, whether by accident or not, allowing or approving the price that was in this contract on the day that it was signed and in the addendums that were added into this agreement, and not something separate that last year we had a different price that was added into that contract.
Scope has now been requested to be 5 classrooms. Whether they sign something that requires a second signature by the board, have a binding contract on the parties. The district has now asked for 5 classrooms. This is a proposal that Scope has put forward, and it matches the price that was in last year's agreement. So right now, there's no contract for this, until the board approves it.
So theoretically, the board could sign either one of the contracts and not go with 5 classrooms and go with the 4 classrooms, theoretically, with the lower price.
So it's asked for a 5 classroom agreement, and that's the agreement that Scope will provide. That
They provided both.
I don't believe you could sign an agreement that you find not Scope. Contact Scope and they tell you that that's what they'll do. There has to be a meeting of the minds between the parties.
Okay, so from what I'm seeing here, on Friday, posted on Board Docs, was a contract. The contract had a signature on August 9th. This current contract that is in front of me right now, that was uploaded to the system late this afternoon, has that same page that was signed on August 9th, has another page added in that has a date of August 20th. How does that come into the contract that was pre-signed, that we cannot sign the contract for the August 9th information? Why would it not allow us anymore to sign that original that was on Friday?
My understanding is Scope has advised the district. The only agreement they have now for 5 classrooms is what you have before you can sign. That means that they have revoked anything that they had previously signed to you, and you have one agreement on the table. Wanted to go back and try to get Scope to renegotiate with you, then that's something that I'm sure you could do. But I don't believe you could sign something that they have asked you to remove from your agenda and have given you a new agreement to sign.
So if they did not send us this new agreement now, we had that other agreement, would that other agreement have been at the 5,400, which was in that agreement? Or would it have taken something else into account that's not on the paper that was originally given? From a legal perspective, I'm just trying to figure out that this change in price that happened over this weekend, how much that actually is costing the district. Is it costing the district 1 more classroom, or 1 more classroom plus, I think, $36,000 on top of it, which is a lot of money, which we need to then consider. Last year, we went to $5,600 per student. This year, it's $5,800 per student now, which is why we put in the budget $36,000 instead of $19,000 as the addition. Okay, so it's still at only $19,000 instead of cost us not the $36,000 or something like that we put into the budget.
Last year.
$5,800.
Whether you say it's not, it's still $5,800 last year. It's on the agenda last year. It's on the docket. It's on the attachment.
So no increase from last.
No increase in last.
What would happen if we get 10 kids in next week, which sometimes does happen in this district, and we have to come to you?
This week.
No, I'm moving off of UPK. You guys can beat that, that's also what you want. We get 10 kids coming to kindergarten this year, but we have to split a class. You're gonna say no? You can't have 24 kids in the kindergarten class. What would you do then? I'm just curious, what would happen?
If there was a question of there were kids that wanted,
That's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking is this: if 10 kids come in this week, which is definitely a possibility, it could be like E&L kids, we get it, E&L class in secondary school, but we could definitely get 10 kids within the next 8 days for kindergarten, and I have to come, I'm not gonna be able to come to you, I'm not sending an email, obviously, and say, we gotta split a class. What's gonna happen?
how many kids are in the current class?
It'd
That's
be-
the first question.
So it'd be 20, would that be the first question there? So 25 kids in the class.
Currently?
No, there would be 25 kids in the class.
Well, we have how many?
Do the math.
Classes.
5 minus 3 from each, so 22.
So then I'll say, okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's the
Remember,
saying
this is the same process.
The process is,
So,
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Motion of votes.
Oh.
We could go on for hours, back and forth, where it's a disagreement of opinions.
Doesn't,
okay,
We already
So-
agree, we'll look at the process again next year for more seats allocated, and that's where we're gonna be. You could agree or not. Let's move on. It's already 8:30 and we haven't even got through half of this agenda. And we have exec. It's not how I want to spend my Tuesday night.
okay, we're not gonna go through debating that. So if we have a motion on the table to approve or not approve this contract, so at this time, do we have any other questions before we move forward? We're talking about questions about this docket. We're not talking about additional motions. We're talking about questions on this docket.
but I already
Because-
put forward a motion that we didn't ask if there was.
Okay, do you have a second on that motion?
Anyone second my motion to add to real?
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
believe First you move what's on the docket.
I did. So I have to vote on this, correct?
You have to finish this before you have a second motion.
Okay, so I need, again, I have a motion from Kurt and a second from Joe on docket 4-52. So I need, all those in favor?
aye,
Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? No, the motion passes. Okay. So now what?
Next slide.
I'm moving forward until,
And then another motion gets made, then you would deal with that motion.
Can I still make that
So-
motion now?
Board member can make a motion, as long as there's no other motion, that's on.
Make a motion to reallocate unused grant money seats to a program that currently has people on the waiting.
do we have a second? All those in favor? All those opposed?
aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Motion is not passed. At this time, I need a motion to move docket
Before-
4.
Just before you able to get the motion. Clerk, then
I need a motion to move docket 4-53.
I'll move. Second.
Any questions?
Just to verify.
I already gave.
This program, does it require an RFP, and if not, why not?
I'm not sure.
Before and
Before and
after
after
school program.
I don't believe policy.
What's that mean?
We as a district feel that our students are getting, or our families are getting the best pricing necessary from Stoke when we're giving them the space, right? in This program, and we should continue to allow Stoke to have this program.
I can't answer that. We don't pay that service. I can't answer that.
Right.
You know why they're here, though. It's not about the space being free, it's because that's where the kids go to school.
No, I know, but we're giving the space to
You
Stoke.
said like.
We're doing
I'm
this
saying
program
it
to
because-
benefit, wait, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. We're doing this program to benefit the parents who need before and after.
But if
This
we-
is not to benefit us.
No, I know, but if we put an RFP, we might be able to get other programs to offer to be in the space and possibly give the.
In the free
parents-
space.
In the free
In
space,
the free
and
space.
give them a cheaper price.
Do we have any other questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Any motion to move docket 4-54?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I need a motion to move docket 4-55.
So moved.
Second,
So Lazar, you had a question?
Yeah, I guess over the past year, I had noticed that we have lots of programs that we offer to our students, which are great. But we have potential businesses in the community that could potentially service those programs. I was wondering if we ever offer them or how we offer these programs for them to be able to utilize. For argument's sake, there's, I think, on this docket, a dance program. And we have dance schools in the community that, since they are in the community and pay taxes, we should give them an opportunity.
So,
So if they pay taxes, they should get the job.
I don't know.
That's what he just said.
Opportunities to be part of a process of figuring it out.
They're
Why?
advertised and they're able to give a quote.
They are advertised. There's no
You're
RFP.
saying that there's a quote,
We don't need
right?
an
They have to give a
RFP.
quote. You don't need an RFP.
Why do you need an RFP?
No, I'm saying there's no RFP, but they are advertised, so everyone can.
I'm in. Want to answer the question?
I'm just trying to keep some.
Okay, next.
state. The answer is that Cheyenne, who is our grant coordinator, she works with agencies who give a quote. And then they hire accordingly. I don't know if Bodies in Motion put in a quote for that job. I don't know if they'd even want it. I happen to know the owner of Bodies in Motion. She's very busy in that program. I don't know that she'd have the ability to do that program with 21st Century Grant. So, you know,
I'm gonna say this to you. Kids love what they have, why would we want to change? Just
I
because
understand,
someone
but-
pays tax? I'm asking.
no, but if they apply for it, they can, yeah,
Sure.
they can try. Okay, do you have any other questions?
That's all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. I need a motion to move docket 4-56 through 4-6.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion, I don't know why I keep raising my hand. Motion passes. I need a motion to move dockets 4-67 through 4-83.
Second.
Bill? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's passed. And a motion to move docket 4-84 through 4-88.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's passed. And a motion to move docket 4-41. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And a motion to move dockets 4-89 through 4-90.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We have no board privilege of the floor. We have no board privilege of the floor. Future meeting dates are on the back of the agenda. We are now at the period for district residents and or employees of the district to address the board. This individual, again, will be limited to 3 minutes of non-confidential agenda items with an overall max of 20 minutes if needed. We have questions. Mr. Ross.
I just want to state there were a number of comments made by a number of people tonight about UPK. None of those comments are representative of Hank at all. I don't appreciate Hank being used as a pawn in anybody's game. I appreciate what you might be doing for some of the waitlisted families, but we've chosen as a school to work with the district. We started the school year with 0 UPK spots. You have 22 more spots than we started with, and we're working with them in a friendly manner to hopefully increase that over time. And we have 0 interest in trying to take seats from Chestnut, where they've stated that they might need those seats for kids that are going to come in. And while we may have a different system where kids enroll and they start and we don't usually get kids in the middle of the year, they might. And we have to be sensitive to that. And we're here working together. Superintendent Reaman said that the goal is to get everybody seats at some point before he retires, which hopefully will be in a long time. But like that's the environment that Hank wants to work in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Hafner?
Yes, Alden Captain. So this is our first board meeting since the reorganization. And for real, I won't even say my Bronx what I want to say, but, and I mentioned this to Mr. Reed, I mentioned this to Karen. We, years ago, did a strategic planning. It was more focused on our curriculum than anything else. But right now, in my opinion, based on being a resident and a retired teacher from this district, we need to have a strategic planning and bring our community together and talk about how we can build relationships. Because this, I'm sorry, is a shit show. And it's not acceptable. I'm sorry, I just couldn't myself. And I know it's not the board's place to have to create a strategic planning community and committee. However, when we did it, we brought in a professional who knew how to educate everyone on how to address the issues that we need to address fair and reasonable manners so that we got accomplished. It wasn't something that you did every month or every week. It was something that we had a vision. We talked about how do you get that vision and where do we go. And I truly believe someone living around the corner that we need that here. My husband grew up in this town. We love West Hempstead, but I don't like seeing and hearing this. It's just not acceptable. We need to figure out a way to communicate and get things done so everyone benefits. It's not an us and them. That's what I'm hearing right now, and that's not acceptable. So I'd be glad to help you in any way I can, but we need to get it done. And here we are in August. Let's plan it ASAP.
Thank you, Ms. Tom.
Thank you.
Mr. Zelik.
Just had a quick question, speaking for myself as a resident. This could be illegal too. What's the law that says that, I know you're talking about leaving the seats open for UPK for the whole year. Is there a law that says that the seats have to be open for the whole year? Every district just leaves, if they have open UPK seats the whole year, and there's no deadline, so there's only admission for the whole year.
I might not be understanding the question.
So there's no deadline. Every district just leaves. Say they have remaining UPK seats open. There's no deadline to sign up. There's never a deadline. Is there a law that says that you have to have open seats and keep them the whole year like that?
I don't.
That day determines, as you know the answer to this, but Beds Day is the day that determines how much money you'll get back per seat, right?
Sure.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that's the answer. Of course, we're gonna leave seats open. We're a public school. We're not gonna deny a kid an opportunity to come to school. Matter of fact, we can't deny a child the opportunity to come to school. Matter of fact, you have to, within 3 days, have them registered and in school. See, people used to play games back in the day, not enroll kids when they didn't want them. It doesn't work like that.
So I just want to share a story based on Mr. Zillick's question. I got my job in 1994, the day before school started. Simply because we had this enormous enrollment for sixth grade. So they, the teacher that they moved out of sixth, put him in fifth. And then we said, oh no, we need another sixth grade classroom. So they moved him. And then I got a call, well, I'm in another district for a part-time job. Could you come over? We've got a full-time job for you. And that was the only year in all my career that school started on a Friday. I will never forget it because it was a job that fell in my lap. It was the best thing that ever happened. I still am thrilled that it happened, but it just shows you that kids show up at the last minute.
We had 5 this week, Lee.
I'm sure.
And you know the last 2 weeks of August, what's happened? We hired Jackie Shee. You know Jackie Shee, she's over at GW now. We hired her on August 30th. Happens all the time. And
You had to turn the library into a classroom when my son started kindergarten because you had 24 enroll in August.
well, that was,
Year my son-
yeah, it was a big year.
And that was
163.
August.
People move every month of the year.
All right.
At this
Well, we
point,
can reminisce.
do we have any other questions in the audience? Okay, so I do want to say thank you. I want to say congratulations again to those of you that were hired this evening and welcome, and that you didn't go running out of the room. And again, thank you for coming and thank you for coming. Thanks everybody for coming out during the summer. I know that it's difficult, to come out right before the end of the season, but we do look forward to a good school year. We are very excited to see you all back. And, our next meeting is September 17th, right back here in this room. We'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your summer, everybody. Be safe.
Good night, everyone.
We're gonna stay in here.
Oh, we're shaking.
Yeah.